What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Camomeleon, here with another review for y'all guys, man. So if you don't already know, I am an avid day hiker, mostly weekends or anytime I don't have to be in the office. And I'm also a backpacker. Not as often as I'd like. I've only truly had one backpacking trip this year. I had a backpacking trip that was scheduled, you guys probably already heard, that actually got canceled due to a large forest fire here in Arizona. The Slide Rock Fire. That was in northern Arizona on the Arizona Trail, and I had to cancel it. The preparation that I did for that was the preparation that all us guys that need information nowadays, that don't know nothing about nothing. You go to YouTube. There's a video for everything on YouTube. And as I went on YouTube, I was looking at the different guys and how they prepared for backpacking. And I ran across this one guy. YouTuber's name is B Cavines1, and I'll put his name across the screen here. And I also put his page down in the description below. He had a YouTube video called Backpacking the 1 quart ZipLock food system. And he does this whole thing where he goes through the entire setup. Basically, he's setting up for I believe he was doing a 3 or 4 day trip. And he sets up each bag and he goes through the process of putting together the entire 4-day trip and shows you each step. I thought it was very impressive. I really liked it. I liked it so much that I used it as my backpacking system for food and meals, and also I use it as my day hiking system for meal. And that is what we're going to talk about today, is that food system, but basically the way that I'm going to use it, which is essentially the same way that he does as far as the setup, but a little bit of Camomeleon twist on it. So this is what I have here, and we are going to go through this guy. I'm going to take it apart, we're going to put it together, and basically show you what I would use on a 1 day, anywhere from a 7 to 10 plus mile day hike, to a multi-day hike, which would be multiple packages of these guys here. So let's just stop talking about it. Let's go ahead and get to it, guys. Alright guys, like I said before, this is my version of the 1 quart ZipLock food system for day packing and multi-day backpacking trips. So let's take this guy apart and let me show you what I got in here. So like any other day hiking trip or backpacking trip, you have different parts to your meals. You have to get your calories in. Now I'm not going to go through the painstaking process of breaking down my calories per item in the meal and how much I need for this and that. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there that'll do that for you guys. So if you want to learn how the calories go and how you should be feeding yourself per the mileage you're doing and stuff like that, just YouTube it. I'm pretty sure you'll find anybody that'll do it for you. So I break my kit. Let's say this is a day hike. I break my kit down into sections. So I have breakfast. I have a mid-morning snack. Then I have lunch. Then I have a mid-afternoon snack. Then I have dinner. And then I have dessert. And throughout that entire day, I have snacks that I'm actually snipping on throughout the day. Now remember, this is not a perfect system, so give me some slack here, guys. I'm still working on progressing this the right way. So the first thing, breakfast. This is a half a sandwich bag, Ziploc bag. Okay, so let's open it up and see what's in here. Now remember, guys, whenever you're doing these meals, you want to change it up, especially if you're doing like a multi-day hike. You want to make sure that you change it up so you don't get too mundane and the food becomes boring. That's bad on the trail, is when food just doesn't taste good enough. So for breakfast, I have the breakfast biscuits, which are basically just breakfast cookies. These are absolutely delicious. I believe they come in blueberry, and there's another flavor they come in, I think apple, I'm not sure. But they're by Nature Valley. These are absolutely delicious. So I have one of these for breakfast. In addition to that, I have my banana chips. Now, these are hydrated banana chips. So also what I would use, I have two, is I have mango chips. So basically some type of dried fruit I would have in here. And that would be part of our breakfast also. Once breakfast is done, I would then go ahead and take my vitamins. No, these are not drugs. I don't do drugs on the trail. Drugs are bad, guys. Say no to drugs. These are my vitamins. So I believe I have Akaya, multivitamin, fish oil in here, and then there's something else in here. But basically I would take my vitamins, and this would actually help me to start the day the right way. Okay? And so this is how we pack this stuff. Now basically, whatever the serving says for these chips, which I think says about, I don't know, about 14 chips, I would put that in here as a serving. Then you put this guy in here, like so. Then you take this, just kind of sip it in there. Now this is a very tight fit, which is kind of what you want anyway. Alright, once you get this thing zip-locked up, what you're going to do is you're going to try to take as much air out of here as possible. And the way that B. Kaveen showed me was you take a straw and you slip it in one side of your bag here, if this will do it, and you basically suck all the air out of it and close the bag as you go along. Now I have a humanly compressed air breakfast ready to go. So there's breakfast. Let's go on to the midday all the way. This is a quart bag, and this is his 1 quart bag system that he was speaking about here. I believe he puts most of everything in the quart bag. I found it a little crowded in there, so I had added more to the system, but you'll see that in a bit. So let's look inside and see what we got here. So as you can see, I have a number of different things in here. First thing is I have my version of Gorp. And what I have in here is Santa Fe mix, M&M's, animal cookies. I believe that's the most of it right there. And what I do is I use about 2 cups of this, and I put it in the bottom of my quart bag. Thin bagels. You basically take the bagel, put it in a sandwich bag, and you do the exact same thing that you did to your breakfast bag, where you basically seal it up about 3/4 of the way, stick a straw in there, suck the air out. So now it looks, it's got all the air pretty much out of it, so it's going to keep it fresher for you there. You stick this guy in here like so. To go on that bagel is this guy. So basically what I did is I bought little Ziploc bags, and this is a little pack of Nutella. Well, this is Nutella in here. It doesn't come this way, as you can see. This is not very FDA'd. But I took a little Ziploc bag and in a fun way put the Nutella in the Ziploc bag, sealed it up, make sure it was pretty secure. And to keep it secure, because I've had this actually leak out on me before in the pack, is I take some duct tape and fold it over where the Ziploc is, and just tape it down. And that way, that kind of helps secure it, because when you'll see once it gets in here, it's kind of tight. Once it's in your pack, it's going to move around. It's going to put pressure up against that Ziploc seal, and then it kind of comes out a little bit. Now, when I get ready to use this and put it on my bagel, I'm not even going to worry about this end. I'm going to come to the bottom here I'm going to tear off this tip, either bite it off, cut it off, rip it off, and then squeeze out the goodness onto the bagel, and I'll have Nutella with a bagel. Calories. Drop that in there. Honey packets. You can get these in a lot of places, guys, but only in these type of packets. I get these from the chicken place. What's it called? Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry. I get these from Chick-fil-A. And I carry about 2 of these packets, and I add this to either my peanut butter with honey that I can carry in that little pack that I showed you, or my Nutella to put on my bagel. So 2 of these guys. Sometimes 1 is probably good enough, but you can never have enough of honey, guys. Good stuff. Payday. And you ask me, why did you pick a Payday? Why don't you pick a Snickers or something like that? Well, guys, I live in Arizona, and it is freaking hot in Arizona, okay? The thing about candy bars in the desert, you want to pick a candy bar that doesn't melt that easily. And this is one of the tools, the tips I got from B. Cavine's 1 video, is he puts Paydays in there because it doesn't have a lot of consistency to melt as easy as a Snickers bar would, or a Twix or something like that. You don't want to open this guy and it just be gooey, geeky all over the place. In the desert, that's very easily to do. So I carry a Payday. This Payday is more than likely going to be my mid-afternoon snack after lunch, and I may eat half of it, and then as I go along, I hike for about an hour, I may eat the other half of it. That's usually how that goes. Cliff Bar. This one here is chocolate brownie, excuse me. And this is my mid-morning snack. Again, I would not eat all of this just because it's so much and it's so rich. So I would probably eat half of this, and then I would then eat the other half later on down the trail when I get hungry. But this is also like a mid-morning before lunch type snack. And that's pretty much it, guys, for this pack. Now, you see all this stuff at the bottom here? So this is what I would snack on through the entire day. So basically, I would have this at my disposal to just kind of put my hand in there and take a few as I stop for a break or something like that. And I just kind of go about my way. I'm thinking about a process of maybe taking this and putting this in a different bag, because in order to get to the bottom of this stuff, you have to take all this out of here. But chances are pretty high, and I've noticed for myself, this is just me, that I usually don't get to this stuff till most of this is already out of the way anyway. So my bagel, this is more likely after lunch when I'm working on the Payday, and then I start dipping into some of this stuff here. If I want to get to it before then, it's not a big deal. I can take some of this stuff out. I'm still working on a system where I can actually take this and maybe attach it to a smaller bag, maybe a sandwich bag, and put that sandwich bag out in a pouch in front of me, something where it's easy accessible. But this is pretty much my mid-morning to lunch to mid-afternoon setup here. And you would do the exact same thing with this as you did with all your other items here. You would go in and you close it and suck all the air that you can possibly get out of it with your human lungs. There you go. All the air sucked out of that guy. Now let's go on to dinner. This one particular here is macaroni and cheese, and it has some bacon, some of the pre-made bacon that's in there that you buy in like Walmart or something like that. This is basically going to get placed in a pot of water, boiled and eaten from that pot. These bags are not really good for cooking directly in. The freezer bags are more what you want, but you also still have to be careful there to not get the water too hot. on those guys. But this will probably go in one of my cook kits. I just kind of pour it in, mix everything up, and have dinner there. And you would do the exact same thing with this one. You would open it up. This one's got a little air in it, so I'm going to open it up here. And I'm going to suck the air out of it here. Alright, all the air is gone out of that puppy. Alright guys, so the hot cocoa, very important part of the day. It's the first thing you drink when you get up. If you don't drink coffee like me, hot cocoa is what you need. So I have about a packet of hot cocoa. Sometimes I carry 2 because I may want to have some hot cocoa for dinner. Just depends on the hike, where I am, the distance, my environment, stuff like that. But hot cocoa is definitely an important part of the meal. All this goes in a gallon bag. So you would then take your breakfast, dinner, lunch, and midday snacks, hot cocoa. And then the same thing would be done to this bag as for every other bag that you have in your system. You would proceed to suck all the air out of it. And that, guys, is what I like to call my 1 gallon ZipLock food system. I use this for day hikes. And yes, I know it's a lot of food, but here in Arizona, there are not many easy trails. Most of them, if not all of them, are very strenuous, especially if you go in the mountains. So you need to have a lot of calories with you. It's always good to have more than enough. It's when you don't have enough is where the problem comes in at. When it comes to backpacking, basically it depends on how many days I'm doing. So if I'm doing a 4-day trip, I will probably carry 4 of these guys. Now they won't all exactly be the same. They'll have different flavors, different tastes. Like I said earlier, what you don't want to do is to make it so that everything is so the same and your tongue gets bored with the flavor. Because when you're hiking 10 plus miles a day over a multi-day backpacking trip, you need some type of wake-up signal in your brain, and that's done through your tongue with a different flavor. So you have to mix it up in here. That's just what I do. Some people might like to have the same thing, and it's okay with them, not me. Alright guys, so that's my review. That is my day hike / backpacking 1 gallon food system kit that I use. Lots of calories, lots of available energy in this bag here. And you can go home with leftovers if you have to, but it's always better to have more than enough calories on the trail than to not have enough of calories on the trail. That can be bad. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to put those guys in the comments below. I'll do the best I can. I'm not a professional at this. I'm simply relaying this back to you, but in my form and way of doing it. So let's talk about it. Whatever questions you guys have, I'll be able to answer whatever I can, and when I can't, I'll get you guys over to BConvenes1, and he'll definitely be able to help you out on that note. So for now, just remember, guys, when you see me on the trail, don't yell, don't bail. It's just your boy, Camomeleon. We'll catch y'all, man.